And we're back. AdventureBlur here. Again. So do you ever have that game that you love to death, but no one ever seems to want to talk about, or you don't hear about much because one reason or the other, you just don't understand why, but it's never talked about much? I feel like that's how it is for NiGHTS for me. So to make up for that, I'm going to make an entire video about how I like the NiGHTS series. So get ready for a whole lot of discussion about a purple jester that floats around in kids' dreams and fights evil monsters. Trust me, it's actually amazing. It's not that weird. Let's get started. I feel like I should start with how I kind of became a NiGHTS fan. You see, as a kid, I knew what NiGHTS was, but that's about it. Like, I grew up with Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, Sonic Adventure DX, like the post-Dreamcast SEGA. So whenever I saw NiGHTS in, say, Sonic Riders, or in Sonic Adventure 2 with the, like, you know, NiGHTS Hotel and the posters, like, I knew who NiGHTS was. I knew NiGHTS existed, and it's a character, but that was about it. Like, I had the idea. The NiGHTS pinball area in Sonic Adventure gave me the gist. Like, I knew, like, okay, something to do with flying around, and, like, I kind of got the idea of who the characters were because of the cards that you got, but that was about it. Like, that was all I knew about NiGHTS. Until the Wii came out. Because in 2007, like, I remember it like it was yesterday. I was at my cousin's house, and we were just, like, we were in their kitchen, we were about to get something to eat and then go back to playing whatever game we were playing. It could have been anything. It was probably Super Smash Bros. Melee or Mario Party or something. I don't know. But I remember the TV being on. And there was a NiGHTS Journey of Dreams, like, commercial on. And I was just shocked. I was like, that NiGHTS character from Sonic has its own game and it looks cool. Like, I remember it vividly, like the Dreams playing in the background, like that. You know, like, I can remember it like it was yesterday. Unfortunately, I never bought Journey of Dreams as a kid. I don't know why, I just didn't. I never thought of asking for it, even though I wanted it. I mean, this is sort of similar to a lot of games when I was a kid. Like, I always meant to play these Spyro games as a kid. Like, I always liked playing it at my cousin's house. But I never bought any of the Spyro games as a kid. I've only gotten into the series much more recently, thanks to, like, the Reignited trilogy and finding them at game stores for great prices. Stuff like that. So, years pass. Still never played NiGHTS. Want to, but never think of it. And I have some money left over on a PlayStation Store card. Like, I think I had like $6 left. Good amount, didn't know what to get. So I started browsing, like, the PlayStation Store on the PlayStation 3, just seeing if there was anything to buy. And I come across NiGHTS Into Dreams, the very first one. I had no idea it was on the PlayStation Store at the time. I thought that it was, like, only on the Sega Saturn. Had no idea it was ever, like, ported over to anything. So I saw it and I had the money, I was like, sure. So I downloaded it, started playing it that day, and I couldn't get into it. Like, I played through, like, the first level of, like, Claris's story. Just couldn't get into it. Like, I was like, okay, maybe I just... not for me right now. Maybe I'll get back to it later. I don't know. Put it to the side for, like, a couple of months. Then I decided to go back to it just on a whim. I was like, no, I'm going to go back and beat that game and see what it's all about. And I start playing. And the more, it's like the more you play the game, the better it gets. It's like it went from being like really good, it went from being like, okay, my first time playing, to really good, to like perfect. Like, it was just like something about it just like clicked with me then that it didn't before. And I don't know why, I don't know what changed, but it just worked. Like, everything about it, like, NiGHTS controlled perfectly. And, like, after playing the Saturn version, because I finally own it with the 3D controller, NiGHTS controls even better on that. But, like, even on PlayStation 3, which has a very, very different controller, NiGHTS still plays like phenomenally. It just feels natural. Just to spin around and do all the paraloops and all the crazy tricks and stunts to get like the highest score. And like taking care of enemies, fighting bosses, like doing all this stuff just works. Like it doesn't feel like it should, but it does. And the music, and the music in NiGHTS in the Dreams is perfection. Right there, just that entire album is amazing. Everything about it worked. The graphics even looked pretty good. Like the PlayStation 3 had like the HD remaster, quote unquote, kind of like Sonic Adventure 2 and Sonic Adventure. And it looked great compared to like the Saturn version. It looks great. But even the Saturn version looks really good to this day. Like it's aged in all regards very well. Both gameplay, look-wise, everything about it's just great. One great memory I have of playing through NiGHTS in the Dreams for the first time that I think I will always kind of hold this memory dear in like my gamer heart was I was at the end of Elliot's story. I haven't been Claris's yet. I'm at the very end. I'm going up against the Wise Man the Wicked. Like just started. And like, you know, anyone who's played it knows how it goes. You see like knights in the tower and you walk over and you get knocked back by Wise Man. I didn't see that coming, and I thought I did something wrong at the time. Like, I legit thought that, like, oh, I was not meant to go that way, so Wise Man just knocked me back, and now I'm stuck on this. Now you're stuck on this, like, tiny, like, floating island, and I didn't see what to do. I was like, well, I'm stuck as Elliot, and I'm on this island, and I can't get over to NiGHTS to fly around, so now what? So, like, I didn't know what to do. I looked around for, like, a minute or two. I was like, maybe I'm missing something. I decided I must have just really messed up and I had to start over on the stage. So I was like, guess I die. So I just jumped straight off the cliff of the island into like the abyss, thinking that the game would just start me over and I'll try again, figure out what I did wrong and correct it. That didn't happen. Instead, Elliot flies. Elliot pretty much becomes NiGHTS and starts flying. And I was caught completely off guard. Like I dropped the remote after I like, you know, jumped off the cliff as Elliot. I put the remote down. I grabbed the PlayStation controller and like stood up and I was like, oh, it's happening. Like my jaw dropped. I was just like in the zone. You know, like that's a memory I'm always gonna have. Like it was like playing like a game as a kid again, you know, like before you had the internet and like playthroughs and all this stuff and like cheats and all that, before you had any of that and you just played it and all you had was yourself and the game, you didn't have any idea what to expect. That was kind of the type of moment I had, and I haven't had that in a game in so long, and NiGHTS did so perfectly that it just like, it blew me away. Like I love that moment, I love that memory. Now Journey of Dreams. That game, I finally got it. You got to watch a video I made where I talk about how I got it. I might put a link to it, I don't know. I'll put a link to it. There, link, right there. Yeah, I got that game and started playing it. And as of this moment, I've beaten Helen's story. I have yet to beat Will's. And I have a good reason for that, and I will get to that. But overall, of all the time I put a lot of hours into Journey of Dreams so far, I like it. It's pretty good. I think that it is easily the best SEGA game on the Nintendo Wii. By far. That's not really saying much, but of what I played, easily the best one. And like overall, Journey of Dreams has a lot going for it. The like opening cutscene alone is just like just beautiful. It really puts you in the mood for NiGHTS in that world. And overall, I enjoy the story. I like how they made Journey of Dreams much more story driven. Like it feels like they took what made the original good and just added more context to it. Like it gave more reasons for everything. Like, oh, this is why this happens, you know? Like this is why like the kids can fly around as knights. It's called dualizing and all this stuff. Like it gave explanations for stuff, and I like that. I liked how they how it delved into NiGHTS as a character. I also, for the most part, enjoyed the voice acting. In particular, I thought that the person that does NiGHTS is perfect. Only one I really have an issue with, only one, Riala. Riala just should not have that voice. It's just wrong. I don't like it. I don't. There's no way around it. I don't like that voice for Riala. It's just, no. Its biggest weakness, in my opinion, is the controls. Like how the first NiGHTS, I already praised the controls on PlayStation 3 and the original Saturn. Just amazing controls. It just works. Journey of Dreams, like many Wii games, decided to have some motion controls. But with Journey of Dreams, it mostly did pointer controls. So you would point at the screen, and that's how you would control NiGHTS and fly around. If you like drew a circle with your Wii remote, then NiGHTS would, do a paraloop, whatever. On paper, that would work great. And Sega's been trying to do something like this since the Dreamcast, because Air NiGHTS was meant to have motion controls like this, and it got canceled and never happened. So they've always wanted to do this. But just because you want to do something doesn't mean you should. And this game's controls are the perfect example of that. Because when it works, it's fine. It's good. Not perfect, but good. Like, not the original, but solid, just good. But when it doesn't work, it can completely wreck the entire game. The reason why I mentioned I have yet to beat Will's story, reason why, is because of one of his stages I have yet to get past. In the stage, you have to control NiGHTS as a boat. And the Nightopians are all in a river, and you gotta go save them while still getting to the end goal before time runs out. Sounds simple, very straightforward, but the controls are so hard. Like, I just can't do it. I cannot do it. Like, either I will barely collect enough Nightopians and save enough of them and run out of time, or I will just miss too many of them and still run out of time. Like, there's no winning that stage. So I'm at the point where I'm actually considering using a natural replay just to skip that stage. But I feel like that would be cheating, because it would be. So I'm trying not to, but it's such... the controls just ruin it for me. And like that, and like a lot of the bonus, smaller, not controlling NiGHTS stages control pretty poorly. Not all of them, like Helen and Will's platforming segments, for the most part, control pretty good for just the Wii remote. I mean, if you're using just Wii remote, it controls alright. Not perfect, but better than the original in my opinion. I think it controls much better than Claris and Elliot do in the original NiGHTS. But outside of that, the controls just really took away from the game. And you can use the GameCube and Classic Controller in the game, but only for those bonus segments. You can't use it for NiGHTS. And NiGHTS has always been a game about perfection. You have to get your timing, your loops, everything just right. So when the controller goes against you doing that, it makes the entire game incredibly more difficult. One really, really, really good memory I have of Journey of Dreams is the stage where Helen brings up how she's meant to do the concert and that she hasn't been practicing well. So NiGHTS does the Sky concert. That's one of my favorite stages of all the NiGHTS games, the whole 2.5 we have. And Games and Journals, one of my favorite moments of any game. It was just so perfect. The way they brought in Dreams into it was just a great callback to the original. It just felt right. But the controls plagued that entire segment because it was hard just to hit all the right notes, because you had to hit the notes to make the song play, and you got to get it just right, the timing, the speed, all of it. But the controls made it incredibly difficult to hit every single one. So there was a lot of times where I was hoping to get a perfect run, and I have yet to do it, because the controls will always make me miss just by one or something. There's always like something will go wrong. But the music, like I've already praised Into Dreams, Journey of Dreams music is just as good. And like the music, even with it all going wrong, made that stage great. So like the music and the stage, everything just worked perfectly, and it just was great. Like even when I kept messing up over and over and over again, having to start over again and again, I still was excited about doing it and was still having fun doing it. And in the end, that's what matters, is are you having fun with the game? And I did. But yeah, overall, really enjoyed Journey of Dreams. Not as good as the first, but still really good and really fun. And if you are interested in picking it up, please do it. It's like $5 anywhere at this point. Go pick it up. Do yourself a favor. Just do it. Now that just leaves one question on pretty much every Nights in the Dreams fan's mind. When and will and how will there be a sequel? Can we get a Nights in the Dreams 3? Personally, I think they should. It just makes too much sense, especially with the gaming world right now. Nintendo is doing phenomenal on the Switch, and Journey of Dreams was on Nintendo systems, and Miyamoto, a big head of Nintendo, loves Nights to the point where he said that he wished he created Nights. So why not let Nintendo be a part of making Nights 3? That's my big idea, is what if instead of just porting over Nights in the Dreams and Journey of Dreams, which would still be great, we got Nintendo and SEGA to collaborate on Nights 3. If Nintendo and Microsoft can be buddy-buddy right now, then of course SEGA and Nintendo can be buddy-buddy too. And they've been doing great for a while. This old rivalry of the console wars is dead and gone. So let's work together. Let's make a Nights game. And Nights just screams like a Nintendo franchise. So much more than a lot of the games that have been brought over to Nintendo. So why they wouldn't want to work with Nintendo to make a third Nights game is beyond me. I feel like the Switch would be perfect for the pick up, get a high score, and play mentality that is Nights. Like, it just would make way too much sense not to do it. Like, they have to make Nights 3 on the Switch. Okay, technically they don't, but this is just like my fanboy dream, okay? And this entire game series is about dreaming, so I can do that. I can do that all I want, and this is the internet, so you can't stop me. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and as always, this is AdventureBlur, and I will see you next time.